Hi, I'm Jessie Budzinski. I'm an assistant department chair at Purdue Global, and I'm here today with Tyler Sorg. He is a full-time faculty member in the communication department. And we're going to talk a little bit about what a degree in communication looks like and what you can do with it. So Tyler, if you don't mind starting by just kind of talking about a degree in communication, what that looks like, what you can do with it.
So communication is like this paradoxical thing that we have to have in all jobs. If you break down what communication is from a fundamental standpoint, it's the connection between a sender and a receiver. Now, if you expand on that, you can take that same approach and contextualize it to any job that you want to get into, from healthcare to education to sales. You have to have, and the book talks about this, and many books talk about this, is that communication is that glue that holds people together, but also holds organizations together. So with a degree in communication, it is a very vague but specific degree. You can go into a lot of different fields, and it'll enhance you from the business world to the healthcare world.
If students are working on a bachelor's degree in communication at PG, they have the option to select a concentration area. It's not required, but it's optional. So one of those is a concentration in business foundations. Could you just give some examples of the benefit of that as a concentration area?
Yeah, and I always push my students to study communication over a pure business degree. And here's why. My background is in sales. And once you get to the job, once you get to the organization, you can learn the fundamentals of that business, but you can't always learn communication. So for example, if you get a degree in communication, kind of take the business foundations route, you can get into things like sales, which is a huge communication degree. If you can't communicate like this, you cannot make that sale. You can get into areas like human resources, which again, that diversity aspect of being able to create and also sustain all types of relationships, intercultural, that are very diverse, and you can do much more. We have a PR concentration here, but from a fundamentally business standpoint, communication enhances that ability to perform once you get into that specific sector.
Okay, perfect. And you mentioned the PR, which is public relation. That's another optional concentration area. Can you speak to that one?
Yeah, this to me is one of my favorite programs here at PG. I help develop some of the courses. And again, it's taking that sender receiver model, but putting it into a different context. With the PR focus, you can get into things like marketing. And I actually argue that event planning, any kind of job that you want to get a specific message across to a specific audience, that's what communication does. That allows you to bridge that gap from organization to potential customer, or organization to a certain sector of people. It's all about developing that skill that requires a tailoring of your messages, and that's what communication degrees do. Help you to not create a general message, but a very audience-centered message that allows you to bridge that gap.
Okay, perfect. And then the last one is digital communication.
So this to me is taking the fundamentals of a sender and a receiver, but 2.0. With the constant landscape change of the job market, the face-to-face interactions have become more and more, I guess, minimized, and you have to have the skill set to perform and communicate in a very digital world. With a degree and focus on that particular field, you can do so much. You can still work in PR and marketing. Now you can do things like, digital speech writer, or, write for a organization, get into more of like the internal business communications, like, copywriting and, editing. It's a very vast degree, but it has the ability to put you in a very specific job market.
Okay. And that actually kind of flows really well into the next thing I wanted to mention, was that at PG, we offer a micro-credential. Again, it's optional, but students are able to plug in courses into some of their elective openings on their degree plan and earn what's called a micro-credential. So one of the ones that we have in communication is called the new Media Writing Microcredential. So if you could speak to that, that would be great. So students know what that is.
Yes, I love this class because one of the things about PG is that we keep up with the current trends, and you can learn communication skills that may be dated, but at PG we're really big into keeping our curriculum modernized. So from that particular course, and you add that into your existing curriculum, it allows you to have more skills or more tools once you get in the job market. Classes like this are very much application based, so you actually will engage in writing digital types of communication that go externally and also internally. But a micro credential like that just pretty much enhances your current curriculum and makes you more prepared to get into the job market.
Yeah, that's perfect. And it's 4 courses that focus on new digital technology that'll really help students. Like you were saying, once they get into the kind of real world in their career, they'll have these skills that they really need. So that's perfect. Is there anything else that you want to add that would be helpful for a student to hear about a degree in this field?
Yes, I think that, and I was a communication major, undergraduate, master's, PhD, and I have 2 undergraduates, a master, and I specialized in once I get my PhD. But one of my biggest fears was, okay, I'm learning communication, and we do it every single day. How does this make me better in the job market? But the paradox of that is that if you have strong communication skills, you can assimilate into any situation, any context, any relationship, and just make everything around you better. And I know I'm very biased in communication, but there's this fear of, okay, what can I do with communication degree? The question should be, well, what can't I do with communication degree? From HR to sales to PR to marketing, the growth of technology, it's all communication based. And like the micro credentials we offer here at PG allow you to fit into this current job placement. And when you come into the job market with a degree from PG, you kind of hit the ground running. You've done these things for the last 2, 3, 4 years, and you have that knowledge, you have that skill that are up to date to prepare you for the job market.
That's awesome. I think that's probably a perfect place to end this.
Sounds good.
Great
Yeah.
thoughts and advice for students. Thank you so much.